So you know how there's like weird sayings for like, groups of certain animals and stuff, like a murder of crows
Yeah.
and stuff. So this is 16 strange and funny collective nouns from medieval English. Number one, a city of badgers. Badgers in medieval times must have been more civilized than the beasts of today. After all, they were able to form cities. It makes more sense, though, when you consider that the word city referred also to the badger's burrow. That would be its city, wouldn't it? Number two, a thong of barons.
Nah.
Now, this thong couldn't possibly mean the same thing as it does today. Let's see here. Thong in medieval times spelled Thonge, a strip of material. Huh, it kind of does. Wonder which would be more intimidating to encounter, a thong of barons or a baron's thong. Okay. Number three, a fighting of beggars. Dr. Hooks doesn't give any explanation on why the word fighting was used to describe a group of beggars. We just have to assume that medieval beggars were prone to brawling. I could definitely see that one. Oh, a rascal of boys. A rascal of boys seems like a fitting term, but while today we might call a rambunctious boy a rascal, in medieval English a rascal was a company of soldiers or a mob. Still pretty fitting if you ask us. Number six, a cluster of cats. There was no special meaning here. A cluster of cats just sounds funny, really rolls off the tongue. In all honesty, we listed this here just to contrast it with what a group of wild cats is called. Speaking of which, number six, a destruction of cats.
I can see that.
That just sounds like like a bunch of murdered cats. Yep, that was a destruction.
Oh no, it's the destruction of cats.
Dr. Hooks notes that using the word destruction for a group of wild cats is a logical and reasonable extension of definition. The wild cats of ancient England were probably pretty nasty. Number seven, an intoxication of cobblers. Now, in all honesty, the original medieval source doesn't use the word intoxication for a group of cobbles. Instead, the word is drunkship, which means intoxication. The Old English cobblers must have liked stiff drink and then another to wash it down. It's weird that they would attribute, being drunkards to cobblers specifically.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that everybody? Like pirates, everything?
I mean, you would think a lot of people back then, but yeah.
Everybody was drunk back then.
But especially those cobblers. This one I like. An incredibility of cuckolds.
The incredible cuckold.
Incredible culk. The word cuckold.
Yeah, love it.
The word cuckold derives from the old French word for cuckoo bird, but is meant as it is today, the husband of an unfaithful wife. Whoever wrote the book this term comes from must have found it pretty incredible that such men were band together. That seems like a very weird phrase. Number nine, a cowardness of curs. Today, a cur is a misbehaving dog, but in medieval England, it was a watchdog. But those watchdogs can't have been very good at their job if a group of them was called a cowardness. I like this one too. Number 10, a herd of harlots.
I've seen those.
Still on the lookout for them. Dr. Hook's source books use the word herd to describe groups of many things. One of those things is harlots. Now, herds of harlots weren't necessarily made up of prostitutes in Old England. The word also refers to male vagabonds and beggars. Number 11, a laughter of hostlers. The innkeepers of 15th century England must have been a jolly bunch. It's kind of refreshing to see these people use a word that isn't horribly disparaging for a change. Number 12, a worthlessness of jugglers. Well, so much for not being disparaging. Jugglers, that is bards or minstrels, clearly weren't held in very high esteem in medieval England. The word used in the old text isn't exactly worthlessness, though instead it's near thriving, as in never thriving, or near do well, if you will. Ne'er do well is a word people don't use enough. Number 13, a rage of maidens. Hell hath no fury like a maiden scorned, and if these maidens decide to team up, it'll take a real man to face that rage. Number 14, an abominable sight of monks. This phrase comes from the Book of St. Albans, printed in 1486 and credited to Juliana Berners, the prioress of the Priory of St. Mary of Sopwell. Sister Juliana clearly didn't think very much of her male monastic fellows. Number 15, a proud showing of tailors. Tailors, what an upstanding bunch. Wherever they go, it's always a proud showing, or not. There's also another word used for a group of tailors, a disguising. I guess that makes sense since they make clothes. And finally, number 6, a non-patience of wives.
Men clearly came up with these.
And they also seem like they would be a mouthful to say.
Yeah. A non-patience of wives.
Like a herd of harlots is funny. But like, oh, look at this non-patience of wives. Sister Juliana didn't like monks, and she apparently didn't have a high opinion of married women either. At least that's what her choice of words for calling a group of wives seemed to indicate. Oh, so this is woman-on-woman crime. Yeah. So this is even a guy that made this.
Non-on-woman crime.
Maybe Sister Juliana could have been a little less judgmental. A herd of harlots, definitely my favorite. And
Incredibility of cuckolds. Yeah.
But where do you ever see like a group of men that you're like, oh, those are all cuckolds. We're going to call them an incredibility.
I don't know. I mean, you look at Congress, a lot of their wives are cheating with somebody, some lobbyist.
Well, we are over the hour mark, unless you got something else you'd like to go out
on? Nothing as fun as that, so leave it at that.
We'll leave it at a herd of harlots. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you had fun with today's show. Please, if you will, follow us on the YouTube channel, subscribe, leave us comments, thumbs up. You can also subscribe in audio form on your podcast service of choice. And why not come over and visit us on Twitter? AJ, where can people find you on Twitter?
At a name for this too, and that's number 2.
And you can, of course, find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that is going to do it for all of our shenanigans and poppycock this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Bye, guys.
Take care.